Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Just yesterday, I helped somebody create something like this, and she said it was perfect when I sent her the video. But I'm going to change it up this time. We're going to use a circle. So first we need to get the name done. And I'm going to grab this and I'm going to left click, right click so we can see it better. And then I'm going to get the shape tool and I'm going to bring this in till all the letters are touching. Now, some of them don't move as fast as the other ones. So you can take the shape tool and grab that, but then hold down the control button. Now I moved it too far. The control button will allow you to keep it on a straight line. And we can actually grab both these. Well, you could take this and this, select it, holding down the shift key, and then bring it in to where the A is. Well, it didn't work. Let me just do it one at a time. You can also, we could take this object and break it apart. Now these letters are separated, so we could use the nudge keys without worrying about, and that might be the better way for people to do it. But we want both those touching because we want a little strength. The M's not quite touching good enough yet. So everything's touching. We're going to go up here and go to object and convert it to a curve. And then we can weld it. And by doing that, it's all one. This is actually a better font. So we're going to Control D and make a duplicate. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that duplicate and move it over because I'm going to use it in a second. So I'm going to make a Control D another one, holding down the control button and get the two-sided cross. Now we just want to move this up to where these are kind of like two circles, but not too much. So now we can take both these and go to weld and weld it. Now it's all one piece. So we're going to do the same thing we did yesterday with the exception that we're going to move the indexing line. We're going to use a circle this time. And I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. I'm going to Control D and make another circle, holding down the shift key and the two-sided arrow and go outwardly a little bit. Now we need another one. So then I'm going to go hold down the shift key and go inwardly. Now something's not right. My indexing lines aren't in the center. So I need to take my indexing line and hit P. Maybe the whole thing's not in the center. Okay, that's in the center. There we go. Now it's all in the center. Hold down the shift key so it'll grow smaller. That's probably good enough. Now we're going to take this font, move it out of the way. We're going to get let's take the indexing lines away for a second. We're going to get a 2-point line and hit P. And then we're going to Control D and rotate it that 60 degrees or anything really. Control D again, because I want to work right in here. So now we're going to take this one. We're going to go ahead and create an envelope. So let's move this out of the way. And let's take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in and move it over. Well, I've got my nudge factor. So I moved it over, but I moved it back. So now I'm going to set my nudge factor. Let's see how big this thing is. So let's set our nudge factor on 3 inches. Let's nudge that over and then get this envelope form and nudge it over. So take both these and select it and left click, right click. So there's our 2 envelope forms. We can actually get rid of all this if you hold down the Alt key. Anything the Alt key touches will delete it. And I want to make sure, well, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter if we delete that. So I'm going to bring my indexing lines back in because we're going to need to move that over in a second. So here's our Morgan doubled up. We're going to go to effects just like we did yesterday in envelope. I think a circle might be better because we can add more stuff to it. Make envelope from form, put it in there. hold down the shift key and select that envelope form in EC or CE. Tell you what, let's move them over now to make sure we got it in the center of the page. Because I want to expand out the Morgan like we did yesterday. And I could have sworn I made my lines hairline. I want to be able to see it better. So now let's take our Morgan, holding down the shift key, get this two-sided arrow. A lot of times if you click it, get the two-sided arrow, then hold down the shift key. I want it to grow from the outside in. I want it touching those lines. That's pretty good. Now we're actually gonna move this out of the way for a second, and I'm gonna put this Morgan in there. Might not be the best font for it. I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees so it's better suited for that shape. Grab the envelope form and put it in there. That doesn't look too bad. We're gonna go hold down the shift key, select them both and go EC. Now we can take that text and move it over. I want to make sure they're going to touch on the outside. And we might have to do a little thing with the, so that'll touch, this won't touch yet. We've got to have them touching because we want them to kind of stick together. So hold down the shift key and here we go again. Click on that, get the two-sided cross, then hold down the shift key. Well, I made my envelope form bigger. I need to click my text. Grab the two-sided, hold down. I did it again. See, this is good to have it black and white because that way. Okay, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Object, Order, Back of Page. That way when I click on the red, and you can see now I got the red. So hold down till you get that arrow, then hold down the shift, and we just want it to grow a little bit. We could actually I think that's going to touch that. And this is touching this. And we can do some other stuff with this. Let's get rid of our boxes now. And if you remember, I put that on the back of the page, but I was still able to get it and kind of look at this. So what we can do now, we can take our shape tool and grab that. Okay, we're in an envelope form. You don't want a clear envelope because you're going to get that. But what we can do is have it selected. Just make sure it's selected. Convert it to a curve, and by that way, we should be able to get these nodes. And let's take these 3 nodes and let's just elongate it. That looks it'll look pretty cool. That'll give us some strength there. We could do the same thing here. Matter of fact, you could angle this a little bit, put it like right there, and of course, smooth out these nodes. Just delete those 2 nodes and maybe just delete one of the nodes. Well, let's delete that and then we'll get our handle. That'll look pretty good. Now what I want to do is select all this and weld all this. And now we can see it made it work, so it worked. Now we can Control D to duplicate, double click on the rotation, you get the rotate in the center, and then rotate it 60 degrees. That's going to be perfect, I think. You could play around with it a little bit. One thing I didn't do that we have to do is put a circle. And we're going to do what we did yesterday. I'm going to take an ellipse and hit P, put it in the center of the page. It's connected all that. And then take that circle, make it something thicker. That's too thick. I think I used 0.35 yesterday. Go up to Effects, go up to Object, go up to object and convert the outline to an object. Left click, right click, and now we have that circle. Now select it all, and hopefully it'll weld. Look at that. More readable. You can still read Morgan there, and you've got Morgan all the way around, and it's connected. Then you would just put like if you didn't see how I put the ribbon holder or whatever, let's take that same color we did yesterday. It takes a little bit of time because it's having to fill in every little name, every little letter with Morgan. I think this will be kind of the way to do it. You could put some stars in the middle or snowflakes. You could make your own snowflake, and I think that's pretty cool. I like it. I like this a lot, how it goes into there. Anyway, I hope that gave somebody some ideas for someday, and thank you for watching.